Hey, anybody seen Cam today?
No. Where is he?
Think he's on his mission.
Yeah, he's kind of off the
He's
grid.
on it. Yeah.
He's on his mission.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wash Nuggets podcast, a part of the Wash Kings Network, the show where the couple of cousins talk hoops, the NBA, and keep you updated on everything you need to know about your Denver Nuggets. I'm your host, Pat Kennedy, and I will be filling in for the remainder of the offseason and the remainder of the season for Cam Kennedy, who recently accepted a job with the Sacramento Kings. So he's officially across enemy lines. Just kidding. But a little bit of a foreshadowing with Wash Kings, now Sacramento Kings. So very happy for him, very excited for him. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. But we got a great show for you guys today. I'm joined by a great panel. I got Kennedy Phillips in the Lou, the Bear. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I learned how to change my will tonight, so I officially did something that made me feel like I'm growing up. So that was fun.
There you go.
Change my will.
You know us Kennedy family. We're just a load of automotive idiots, so don't know what we're doing. And I actually got a flat tire today, and I didn't fix. I took it to the shop.
Call AAA.
Oh shit!
I'm calling AAA right away.
Yeah. I'm also joined by Evan Kennedy, who's in Seattle. He's actually in home run territory for Cal Raleigh. How you doing, Abdog?
I'm doing great. He's gonna hit 60. I can feel it. And I
Feel
did
it.
not have any car troubles today. I took the bus.
God bless you.
So,
God bless you. And I'm also joined by Maddie Ice, who has been promoted to a co-host, also a super producer. But welcome, Maddie. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, I'll still be doing a lot of the editing, but glad to be back on the panel.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a few weeks since our last show. Life's been lifing, and it's been somewhat of a slow off season, but we'll get right into it. A couple quick hitters for some notes for you guys. A couple weeks ago, Serbia was eliminated in the Eurobasket 2025 tournament. They were upset in the round of 16 versus Finland. I know going into the tournament, I heard that Serbia was the favorite to win. But in that game, Jokic showed out, 33 points, 8 rebounds, three steals in that elimination game. Also going 9 of 13 field goals. So Jokic doing Jokic things in big games. Throughout the tournament, he averaged 22.3 points, 9 rebounds per game, 4.2 assists, shooting 66% field goal. I guess the big what if of the tournament for Serbia was if Bogdanovic didn't get injured. I'm pretty sure he pulled, what was a hamstring. So that kind of blew Serbia's chances. I know him and Jokic were like kind of the two big names for Serbia. So it kind of reminds me of, when Jokic with a hurt team, he can't do everything. So how do you guys feel about this? Serbia getting eliminated. Does this mean anything for Jokic's legacy, or what do you guys think?
I feel like last year with them against Team USA, having that chance to come back and beat them, I feel like that could have been really the moment when it comes to what we think of with Jokic and Serbia. And the Eurobasket was a great chance for them to kind of redeem that of sorts going into it as favorites. So I'm not gonna pretend that I sat down and watched every game, but I would check in on some highlights here and there, watch some YouTube videos about some of the games, and I am always kind of pulling for some success for the guy. I would love to see him win really, truly with like his country, right? He's come over the States and cemented his legacy as a player in the NBA, and we love him. And as Nuggets fans and as the city of Denver and even around the country, people love him. So for me, I would love it for him to experience it, winning it as a member of Team Serbia and as a leader of that. So I'm still holding on for hope, whether it's the next tournament they have or hopefully maybe someday in the Olympics he can partake again. But feel for him a little bit.
it kind of feels like the quintessential Jokic experience, like completely outdoes everybody else, and the team just can't get it over the finish line, which I think it more so speaks to his greatness rather than it being a knock on Serbia. I know there's a lot of good talent over there, but it would be cool, to your point, Ken, to see him, have some success in the Euro leagues, and I think that'd be really meaningful for him. And honestly, it would just be, um, I'd be happy for him to see him win something over there. He'd probably be crying like he was for his horses, and that would just be awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think to touch on what you said, Pat, is like you can't do everything in that scenario, and especially when you have your other star player get injured, like Bogdan did. But I mean, it's the same story that we've heard about Yoke and how he shows out when he needs to show out, and yeah, they just didn't pull it through.
I just
Yeah.
feel
I was
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say one thing. Like I feel Evan brought it up a little bit versus him really showing the emotions. Even when Serbia came in third place last year in the Olympics, like you could tell that just meant so much to him. So
Yeah.
really seeing him at the pinnacle of success when it comes to in a Eurobasket or an Olympics, I think that would just be really special for us to see.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, that
I
man.
think
Go for it.
I was just going to say, like, I think he gets a lot of criticism here in the States for not being as emotional or as invested, which for me personally has been really annoying. As if that's like, it invalidates like how good he is on the court. So just to see him get engaged with like Euro basketball and in a setting that probably is more deeply meaningful to him. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see that side of him, and kind of put that criticism to bed a little.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I mean, that man loves his country, and it was cool to see him make it. They got third place last year in the Olympics. But I was really hoping that, obviously I didn't watch any games, but I was hoping that they would win it all. I mean, just adds to his legacy and accolades and his resume at the end of his career. Because the next Olympics will be when, like 2028.
Mm-hmm.
And by then Jokic will be 33, 32 to 34, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And I mean, you hate to say it, but at what point does he start declining in his career? And
And at what point is it like too much for him to partake in both a full NBA season and do those things in the summer?
Exactly. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
last year, he didn't participate in the Eurobasket, but when he participated in 2022, funny enough, Serbia was eliminated in the round of 16 as well. And then guess what happened the next season?
What happened?
Nuggets won the championship.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
foreshadowing.
A little bit of foreshadowing there. But going off.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, heard it here first. Next on the news and notes, a little bit more of a highlight, good vibes. The Nuggets participated in many of the Denver Nuggets, maybe all but two, participated in the Rico Hines runs out in LA. Saw some good performances out there. And man, it feels like for the first time ever, we got a really good group of guys together in the off season, and they're all enjoying, having a good time. Good commodity all around there. So what do you guys think about that?
Love to see it. I want them as loose as possible,
Loosey goosey, fresh and loose, you might say, Evan.
Fresh and loose, like Uncle John would say. Shout out John Kennedy in Ohio. Yeah, I think we've talked about it before, how we think that they've been kind of rigid and like they maybe haven't been themselves in the last like year or two. So if they're loose and they're performing well in the off season, and if they're like getting motivated and amped up for the upcoming season, I'm excited.
I think it's huge. Just, I mean, for them to get acclimated, before it gets to preseason basketball and they're in training camp. I think it's really cool to see, guys like Peyton Watson and Julian Strouder getting minutes, getting run with a guy like Cam Johnson, or Bruce Brown, who they probably played a little bit with their rookie year, but really getting some extra run with him as he comes back in his new role with the Nuggets. But then also seeing guys like Jamal there, right, and AG, they're showing kind of some of that veteran leadership, trying to maybe bridge that gap a little bit. I feel like as a Nuggets fan, you're always a little jealous when you see highlight tapes of guys in the summer, and you're kind of fiending for some Nuggets content in the middle of not summer, but I guess like this time of year, August or so, when you're kind of really in the dog days waiting for the season. So Um, in the past, maybe we got a video of Mike shooting a bunch of wide open threes in the gym, but it's never been guys actually playing together. So I'm not gonna lie, I sat and watched like all the Rico Hines YouTube videos a couple nights ago, and just was just getting excited for the season, seeing the boys back together. So
Who
if it
who
meant
looks sharp
anything,
to you?
honestly, like it was Cam Johnson. Like
Yeah,
he was the way he was handling the ball coming up the court, and obviously it's not just pickup; it's pretty competitive. And the guy that runs the whole thing, he always will talk about it. Like this is a great opportunity for you to get better and all these things and compete and get the competitive juices flowing. But I thought Cam Johnson looked really good. And then some of the clips I saw at AG, like he looked really good, backing guys down, hitting fadeaway jump shots, banking in things, pulling up from three. I mean, I would recommend watching it just to kind of get you excited about
yeah.
it. But they all look pretty
How
good.
about Jamal?
The little bit I saw with him, he looked pretty in shape, and that's been a big thing we've been wanting to see for months. And every year we go into the season wondering, what's Jamal going to look like? We don't really ever see
Yeah,
any footage of him or photos. But we might be up, we might be up here. He's looking skinny. He's looking fit. His jump shot looks like Jamal. He just kind of shoots those little like low laser beams almost, and you just know they're cash. But I'm just excited to see them back together and playing some hoops.
Jamal heard that.
Matt, were you able to see any of it, or have you checked in on some
Yeah,
of it?
actually, I caught a lot of it on TikTok and mostly Instagram. But I love that they're doing it, man. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just love that they're in the gym. Yeah, they look great, but they look great because they've been there. Like they've been consistently working throughout the entire off season, and I think it's something that's really interesting. If you go back, last summer, I kind of did some scrolling on the Nuggets Instagram. But if you look back at last summer, there's not a ton of videos of them like in the gym or the team working together or any of that. There's a video that was posted a couple days ago where they're all in the weight room, and it's Cam Johnson, it's Christian Brown, it's Jamal, it's AG, and they're all in the weight room together. It looks like a bunch of college dudes, a part of a team going through weightlifting at like 5 a.m, and it's that kind of stuff that we're seeing here, that kind of brings out that really serious vibe, and I think that's something that has been lacking, kind of showed last year, and yeah, I don't know,
I
I
feel like,
just think they want it.
as you said,
yeah,
it's like almost a complete 180 from last season. I haven't gone through the tapes of the Nuggets Instagram like you, but I believe it, right? I feel like last summer we were just waiting for something to come out and wondering how the vibes were. And throughout all of last season, kind of the same questions, like how are the vibes? And we were little curious as to if things were really shaping up to be good going in that playoff run, and we found out that from the top down there were some issues. So
hmm
I think there's a lot of changes that have occurred. We started the show and we're like we've kind of slowed down. The off season's been slow, but I think it's also because we were starting off the summer with a bang with a lot of stuff going on. So we
yeah.
were lucky to have that, and now it's kind of been nice to kick back and start getting ready for it.
So would you say maybe um, that this spirit in the team, could that be related to the coaching changes that happened at the end of the season? Should we go so far as to claim
I've got
that, or
I've got I've got a theory.
Let's hear
lay
it.
it on me?
Conspiracy corner.
Yes,
Not really,
conspiracy
not
corner with
really,
Matt.
not really a conspiracy. But we harped on this a lot in our early podcasts. We harped on this early in that Michael Malone never really like kind of pushed these guys, and I think we're
Yeah,
seeing, from whatever perspective. Um, I think that David Adelman could have had I think he could have had a meeting or sat down with Jamal or AG. Obviously, Yoke's kind of doing his own thing right now, but the other two main leaders on this team, and said, you know what, listen, like, you guys might have to get it going here that could have happened. I could see a situation where Cam Johnson comes in and he's been around the block. He's not a spring chicken. He's no rookie. He could have come in and said, "Hey guys, listen, like this isn't how it's going to go." I think he kind of knows he's going to be in that starting five or a little bit of that rotation, maybe not right off the block, but I think everything's kind of pointing that way, that he is going to be part of the starting five. I think he could have had an impact on that. I think we're kind of leaning in towards like maybe MPJ being gone. I don't know what I don't know what kind of, for lack of a better term, aura kind of brought to the team, but that might have been something that kind of took guys away from basketball during the off season, and they're like, "Oh man, MPJ's going," what maybe he was doing, whatever. I think this team, for whatever reason, and I think the domino effect started with Michael Malone being fired and David Adelman coming in and in the press conference saying, these guys are going to be around. They are going to be here. And if he was the main, kind of push for that, or Cam Johnson coming in was a big push for that, Bruce Brown being back saying, listen, this is not how it was a couple of years ago when we made our run. I think any one of those 3 or 4 situations could have easily led to this team being a little bit more focused. But I definitely think, from what we talked about in our earlier pods, is that this stemmed from Michael Malone exiting the Denver Nuggets arena.
Yeah.
I think you make a good point about the culture, like with the
Yeah.
new guys. And I had completely forgotten about Bruce Brown, but I have to imagine he brings like massive aura and vibes to the team. Sorry, Pat, to cut you off.
No, I was going to bring up the culture piece as well. Like after like 10 years of the leadership with Malone, the guys just got too comfy with one another, and they kind of lost a little bit of their culture. And then once Malone was fired, I think different leaders stepped in. I mean, we obviously saw Jokic get more vocal. I think AG stepped in as a leader, Jamal, and now with like Cam Johnson, I mean, he's a vet. And this leadership just trickles down all the way to the young guys, and now everybody wants to be together. And I think there's just a new tone to be set in the off season, and you see it with these young guys. They all want to make a good first impression, and man, I'm super pumped for this.
I feel like one thing to kind of cap it off too is we're used to it being like season's over and Jokic is gone and we don't see him until training camp. And I think that the piece of looking towards your best player, looking towards your leader, and he's not even around in the summer, right? Maybe it took an Adelman saying, "Hey, Jamal," kind of what I think Evan was talking about it. Like, we need you to step in and lead here. And also the piece of, I mean, even Adelman in the press conference when he kind of got hired to be the head coach, he was kind of on the guys need to be in the gym, and I'm gonna try to be on guys in the gym this summer and make sure that they're there. So I think Jokic not being there also provides a little bit of opportunity for other guys to kind of lead. So kind of a cool opportunity for guys like Cam Johnson and Jamal to kind of step in and join.
Yeah, that's a really good point about Jokic not being around, and that gives opportunity for other guys to step up as well. So going off of the leadership piece, I guess we'll go into our next segment if nobody else has any other further thoughts.
Oh. I'm good.
Matt's gone, apparently.
Yeah, Matt's, I think he's giggling away. Or he's petting avocado.
He's laughing at something.
No, we actually got rid of the cat. We don't have to talk about that, but we got rid of the cat.
New segment. Oh man.
Yeah, we got rid of him.
Is the cat on the mission with Cam?
The cat is actually with Cam right now on his mission.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's joining the military with Matt or with Cam.
He didn't play well with our dog, and they got into a situation where some blood was shed, and we gave him to one of our other friends from work. So
what I'm hearing is Rue has got that dog in her.
Rue's got that dog in her. Yeah.
Almost put
Was
that
it?
dog in the cat. Anyway.
Yo,
God
Ah,
damn.
can we move on?
Anyways, moving on. A little bit more relevant news today for the Nuggets and Nuggets fans. Former head coach Mike Malone just got a new gig with ESPN as a full-time analyst. And he'll be joining NBA Countdown for the 2025-2026 season. And after he was fired and going into the playoffs, obviously we saw him. He was working as kind of a part-time analyst on ESPN, but now he's kind of taking that full step as a full-time analyst. So I'm just curious to see what you guys think. Was this a surprise to you guys? Are you surprised that he didn't go after a new coaching role, or are you happy to see him on the TV now?
I feel like Moach is kind of built for this.
One might say he's definitely built for TV.
Yeah, he's always enjoyed that little spotlight. Whether it was interviews, whether it was kind of funny little quotes that he'd give. He definitely just
He's
seemed
just
to kind of
outspoken.
always, yeah, he always would give like a good anecdote too for people to chew on or something to stir up the conversation. I mean, the greatest example is when we were in the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers, and he was just like so extremely online and just knew that we would just be eating it up, and that Lakers fans would be on the opposite side just getting pissed off about it. So I think it's great for him. I think it's a great opportunity. It's not going to really change my perspective in terms of wanting to tune in to Stephen A. and the fellas, but I'm excited to see some clips for sure.
Yeah, I think it's good. I'm glad that he's doing it. And do you guys know, like if coaches that go into media and then move on to come back to coaching at all? Does that happen?
I mean, I've never heard of something like that, but you wonder what his angle is. Like maybe he's waiting until next season, like see what opportunities come like a year from now, next summer, what coaching opportunities open up. Because it is just a 1-year deal that he signed with ESPN. So
I remember like Doc Rivers was on play-by-play for like I swear like 2 games, and then all of a sudden he was hired with the Bucks. A guy like Van Gundy, who used to coach, and his brother is like an assistant coach, I believe, with the Clippers now. But the Van Gundy kind of brothers have, I think, dabbled both. One of them stayed in a lot longer, and I don't know. I could see him getting back into coaching if the shoe fits, if it's the right situation. I don't really think any jobs this summer opened up that he. I thought the Knicks would be a good fit with his, very New York mindset, but that didn't end up being anything. But I could see him, again, if it's the right situation, being interested in coaching.
I wonder too if he's. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Pat. Or sorry, Evan.
You got it. I've already talked.
I could see this being a situation where he's been in coaching long enough, or he was a head coach long enough, won a ring, kind of brought a franchise from bottom to top, and kind of just wants a break for a little while. I could definitely see him. I think TV might give him more leeway in terms of seeing his family and being with his daughter who just started college and her playing career. Like I know he's a big supporter of his family, so I think he could be leaning more into that realm, and maybe he gets back into coaching in a couple of years, 4 or 5 years or whatever, and
like
or
6
maybe
or 7 years. Sorry, I've been around high schoolers too much.
6, 7. It took me a second.
I genuinely don't know what that means.
It's a good thing, Ev Dog. That's a good thing. But I could definitely see that.
Anyways,
get this guy off the pod.
Any further
Get out
thoughts
my
about
games,
Mike
bro.
Malone being hired?
What do you got on it, Pat?
I don't know. I am honestly a little bit surprised by it. I mean, he's the all-time winning head coach in Nuggets franchise history. Obviously, he brought a ring to Denver. I mean, I know we just kind of bashed on how he kind of lost the culture a little bit, but I mean, he transformed that culture um, into what we know as the Jokic era, and I don't think he's gotten enough credit where it's due. And down the road, I mean, we'll always remember Moach as the guy who brought the culture, the guy who brought the ring to Denver. So I'm
Yeah.
surprised that no team looked at what he's done and really kind of went after him.
I almost
So
feel like maybe he kind of wanted to go out on that note of like it might have ended kind of poorly and in a weird time, but he won the first franchise championship, right? He was, you know, he won the most games as a Nuggets head coach.
yeah,
He's going to have his name in the rafters. He's got Maxi the Miner tattooed on his arm. Like he loved being the head coach of the Nuggets. And maybe after a couple years of this, he'll want to get back into coaching. But I think leaving it at that note is probably what he's hanging on to and enjoying.
You may
yeah,
think that it's time for the next chapter too. Like maybe he feels like he peaked as a head coach, and I mean, I don't know what that's like, obviously, but I could see him wanting to try something else and be like the best at that. Like how do you top what you did in Denver? I don't know. You have to go and win somewhere else and win another time. And oh, maybe he's
And
just
he's
not
not.
ready to step back into
Yeah,
that.
he's not going to have another Jokic to make his job that easy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like how do you top that experience? I don't know if you can. So I don't know.
yeah. Any more thoughts? Yeah, I guess this brings us into our main segment, and it's got a good leeway from Denver Nuggets legacies. Carmelo Anthony was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame a couple weeks ago. During his time in Denver, he spent 7.5 seasons with Nuggets, averaged 24.8 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, and 3.1 assists per game. He's really known for kind of resurrecting the Nuggets after 8 straight losing seasons before his arrival, and he kind of turned the Nuggets into what we know as the Thuggets. And um, I just remember as I was growing up, I mean, Carmelo Anthony was my first favorite basketball player. I remember
Yeah.
getting his jersey and going to the games. And man, I personally have a lot of good memories with Carmelo. I know he left kind of on a sour note. In 2009, the Western Conference Finals run. I mean, that was pretty much the peak of the Melo era. So what do you guys think about Melo getting introduced to the Hall of Fame? What does it mean for Denver's legacy, or for his legacy with Denver? I know he had some comments that we can go over in a bit, but just curious to see what you guys thought about it.
I mean, similar to you, like I grew up wearing a Carmelo Anthony jersey to basketball games. I remember watching and like getting very, very pissed off when we were playing the Lakers in the 2000s and watching Kobe just tear us apart and me feeling beginning to hate the Lakers for that reason. And like
Yeah,
Carmelo just wasn't enough to overcome that. And um I remember feeling sad when he was sent to New York. I remember feeling a little betrayed. Um, but I have no ill will, I guess. Ultimately happy that he's in the Hall of Fame. I think he deserves it. So, no qualms on my end.
Yeah, I don't I don't see, I mean, there's been enough time. I think Melo had, first of all, a very well deserving Hall of Fame career. And very glad that he got to spend that, those 7.5 years with the Nuggets. And kind of, be the light of our childhood watching Nuggets basketball growing up in Denver. And I think he kind of brought, he definitely brought that to the forefront of our watching of basketball. But I mean, one of the things that's kind of been popping up for me over this situation with him getting inducted is there a bad relationship between Carmelo and the Nuggets? And I don't think there is a Nuggets anymore. Like I don't in that situation. It's not the front office. Like there's no ill will between him and the current front office, I should say. The people that were upset, I think for the most part, were the fans. And I think we just kind of got to watch, Melo play somewhere else for, the remainder of his career. Would we have loved to see that in Denver? Yeah, probably. But I just think, if you ask any Nuggets fan who watched Melo, they don't have any ill will towards him. Yeah, it ended bad. So did Moch's situation. So do a lot of players' situations. Like, does that take away from the fact that he took us to a Western Conference Finals in 2009? No. Like, does that take away the fact that he had a fantastic run and brought the Nuggets back from a poverty franchise? No. So, what is there to be mad? And in my mind, there's nothing there to be mad about for him.
It's pretty rare too that a player would stay like his whole career in a single franchise anyway. So those types of breakups are inevitable for most guys anyhow.
Especially in the era in which it happened. I feel like that was kind of when I don't remember exactly what year it was LeBron going to Miami, but I feel like the kind of old aged idea of guys are going to stick with the team that drafted them and build really that franchise with a single guy in like the late 2000s really kind of started to fade away, and guys were taking free agent deals and asking for trades, and now it's a completely different ball game where guys are requesting trades left and right and asking not to get drafted to a place like Utah if you're Ace Bailey. Like people have a lot more say in terms of what they want, which again I understand, and I think that's okay to some extent. I Nugget like Melo made it cool to be a Nuggets fan growing up. Like that gave us something to be excited about. And when he left, like I think it all left a little bit of a sour taste in our mouth. Like, I mean, what do we have now? And it left us with, and thank God we ended up having a Jokic eventually. And it's funny enough that they were the same number and kind of became our savior of sorts. But the way that he left Denver, I mean, I feel like we didn't really understand it for a while and know exactly why. And of course, he's going to a big market like New York, right? It wasn't him going to LA, which is a team that had beat him, but he wanted to kind of be in that spotlight and be in a big city and get a lot of the attention as one of the best players in the league, which no doubt he was. But as a prideful Nuggets fan, that it was cool to be a Nuggets fan and have something to cheer for. It sucked. He left us and kind of went on to this bigger franchise. And now, as a Nuggets fan, I feel like people that aren't related to either Nuggets or Knicks, anybody that's just kind of a basketball enjoyer, like you think of him as a Nugget to start his career, but I think a lot of people view him as like a Knick or kind of bouncing around the league as a vet. And I think that what he started in Denver oftentimes gets forgotten about, which kind of sucks. But he never did get past a Western Conference Finals. The Nuggets never did until, Jokic took him to the ship with Jamal. So honestly, he got us Jamal within that whole thing with the picks. So in the end, it all works.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of that, because the trade, in essence, also brought us a couple of interesting players. We got Wilson Chandler, Raymond Felton, Danilo Gallinari, and Timofey Mozgov in that trade.
We never would have had Evan's favorite Nugget, Danilo Gallinari. Or was that Matt's? Who picked him?
That's mine,
Matt?
You never
would have had him.
Nugget
never would have had him.
I had a Gallinari t-shirt.
I remember that. Was it yellow?
Yeah, it was like the era of the extremely yellow jerseys.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we also got 2013 second round, 2012 second round, and a 2014 first round. and then we were able to swap first round picks in 2016, which became Jamal Murray. So a little, some interesting situations there. We did get rid of Chauncey Billups. Actually, no, Chauncey was from another. Nope, that's right. The Knicks received Carmelo, Chauncey Billups, Sheldon Williams, Anthony Carter, and Ronaldo Balkman.
God, I forgot how big of a deal that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will say with Carmelo, like when I look back and somebody tells me to visualize Carmelo Anthony's playing career, I visualize him in a New York uniform, unfortunately. And I think that's the way he wants it to be. I mean,
exactly.
Since his career's ended, I mean, he's wanted nothing to do with Denver. He's had nothing but bad things to say about Denver and his time. I mean, and
the whole piece of him saying like they gave Jokic 15 to like spite him.
Exactly.
They gave Jokic 15 having no idea that he was going to be a 3-time, should be 5-time MVP and an NBA champ. Like that's just kind of now it's becoming Melo hate. But
when you think of 15 going forward, like think about 10 years from now, maybe even 20. Do you think of Melo at all with the number 15?
I think a part of it. I'd say like 20-80, 20 Melo, 80 Jokic.
Yeah, I mean, I think of Anthony Randolph as the 15 for the Denver Nuggets. I mean that's who they gave. If they're giving the jersey number away, I mean that's who they gave it to first.
Yeah, they did give it to him first.
But I mean,
first one that popped up into your head.
But I mean, no. I'm just saying, like, it's a ridiculous. It's a ridiculous claim by Carmelo to say that they just gifted.
That's true.
Jokic. I mean, the Nuggets had no idea that Jokic. They picked him in the what was it, the 40 whatever pick?
41st round.
Yeah. 41st pick.
41st pick.
Yeah.
41 rounds of the NBA draft would be crazy.
Sorry. Second round.
It's okay.
During a Taco Bell commercial.
Yeah.
It's true.
I don't know. As much as I loved watching Melo, like growing up, I mean, I am a little bit sour towards him and the fact that he's never been to a Nuggets game since retiring. I don't know. So then I guess I'll frame a question to you guys. Do you think that Nuggets fans, or I guess the Nuggets like organization as a whole, do they need to repair some sort of relationship with Carmelo? Like who has to be the one to go out of their way to repair this relationship? The Nuggets or Carmelo?
I think it would have to be the Nuggets. A, I don't think the Nuggets would. B, I don't think Carmelo would receive it very well.
Does it matter though?
I mean, as a fan, what do you want, Evan?
No,
I don't know. I guess I don't care. I don't know.
I think we're itchy. We're kind of getting up to the edge of like, do we personally want Carmelo to like the Denver Nuggets again? But he's happy where he is. Like obviously he just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, but like let bygones be bygones, man. Those bridges were burnt a long time ago, and that timber is nowhere to be found. It is fucking charcoal. Excuse me.
Whoa!
Write the report, Matt.
that situation isn't that is not a situation that you come back to, man. That situation is so long gone. Those bridges are so charred. You cannot. You can't. I don't see a reason why. I don't see a reason why.
I have a question.
Hooked.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do the Nuggets retire number 15? And if they do, who's hanging with 15?
Jokic. Easily.
Yeah.
Guy that got him the title.
Yeah. Jokic.
No Melo?
No.
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because Jokic got them a title and he won the MVP 3 times.
How about Anthony Randolph?
Now that would be spiting Melo.
It's
big time.
I do feel like, but it's not one of those situations where you can look at it and be like, like with the Broncos. We're going to shout out the Broncos here. The Broncos have 18 retired for 2 different players. And
yeah, they do. Yeah.
There's many
They
teams
brought
that
it
have
out of
multiple numbers.
retirement for Manning, right?
They did. Yeah, they brought it out of retirement for Manning. Do you look at a situation with Melo and say, you did enough for this organization in this city to do the same thing? In all honesty, I think as the star player he did, but you can't, with the situation we just talked about with, do we repair the break, the shattered heart, whatever, do you look at that situation and say, yeah, we're going to reach out to Melo. Exactly. We're going to reach out to Melo to say, are you okay if we retire your jersey along with Jokic, because you guys were both, integral part of this organization over the years? What do
So
you
a question about,
what do you think Melo's going to say to that?
but
Well,
I have a
honestly, what do you
question
think
about
Melo's
that.
going to say to that?
What's your question, Adam?
Does Melo even care
No.
about the city of Denver? And not even the franchise,
I don't
like
think so.
the city of Denver, the state of Colorado. Like, so the vibe that I'm getting from when people talk about him is that he didn't really care all that much at all. So he's not really involved in the community. I think of like guys like Peyton Manning who stuck around and are like still very involved in the area, So like those feel like natural, like, yeah, we're retiring his number. He's more than just what he did for the franchise.
I think, yeah,
Yeah.
I think Melo wants a repair, and I think maybe his first step was the comments he said about Denver in his Hall of Fame speech. I mean, like I said, I had never heard him say anything nice about the Nuggets franchise until this Hall of Fame speech, and I'll just quote it real quick. And before this, he said, I know you guys are all waiting on this one. And he said to the Denver Nuggets, the Mile High City, you believed in me first. You gave me your keys as a 19-year-old kid. You let me grow, fall, fly, and become the man standing here today. Denver is where I learned the weight of the league, the value of sacrifice, and the beauty of team. To the Mile High City, you'll always be a part of my foundation. So now, with that quote, do you think that's like a stepping stone for, or is that like the first piece of repairing the relationship?
I think so.
I feel like
I
he
think
just
that's it.
said it to make us all feel like
I agree with Ken.
He
cared.
could have snubbed us though.
I agree with Ken. I think
He
he
could have
used
said
it
less.
I think he used it as a cap, like a capstone. I think he used it as something to say, because he was like, I know you guys are waiting on this one, but I'm not gonna say any. We're not gonna talk about it any. This is the last word. Like,
Yeah.
to me, that's Melo's last word. Is saying,
Interesting.
yep, here's Denver. Here's what you've been after me for the since I left, and that's it. There you go. Honestly,
Need him to show up to a playoff game before I believe he cares.
Bruce Brown showed up to more games after signing elsewhere.
Put his jersey in the rafters.
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
here for that one.
This turned to a Melo hater session real quick.
to answer the question of, do you guys think that both 15 should be retired? I'm going to say yes.
I think they should.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, when he left the Nuggets, he was the third all-time leading scorer with the Denver Nuggets, now fourth with Jokic at number 2. He's behind, I just had it, behind Alex English, Jokic, and Dan Issel. And, I mean, just the legacy that he had in Denver, I don't know. I mean, put everything outside of basketball and the bad breakup. Like, I think what he did as a basketball player was enough to get a jersey retired. And I'll put it this way: if Jokic was a different number, would we still? I mean, we would retire Carmelo Anthony's jersey, wouldn't we?
I think so.
Probably.
Maybe.
Right?
I'm gonna say maybe. I don't know if the relationship is really there, to be honest with you.
I think they would.
I feel like it's a little bit more than just the stats in that regard. Like, I think it's also like your presence in the city, your relationship with the franchise. Like, I think there's probably a little more politics to it than just the stats. Because I feel like our attention really hasn't been fixated on Melo in a very, very long time because we've had so much success with Jokic. So in a way, I almost feel like he's been kind of forgotten in the Denver scene. Like, I don't know.
I
When
think
was the last time?
retrospectively, it's hard to kind of judge it, but like
Yeah,
when he was in Denver, he put the Nuggets on the map. He made the Nuggets something to believe
that's
in,
true.
and something cool, as I said earlier, right? Like, obviously, I mean, I was like 5 when he got drafted, so I didn't really know
Hmm.
the Nuggets before that. But I'm sure if you were to ask any of our parents that were living in the Denver area, late '90s, mid '90s, whatever it might be, like I'm sure there wasn't a whole lot of talk around the city about the Nuggets. It was always the
Hmm.
Broncos, and the Avs got good enough in the early 2000s to be competitive and win a couple championships and have the city talking about them. I feel like the Nuggets were kind of that third, fourth tier team, and then Melo made it something real and something legitimate for the people to care about. Right? He made
Yeah.
those baby blue jerseys iconic, and um, I think that we kind of have this spoiled taste of it right now, but I think when we really look back on it, I think that the legacy he did have in Denver was pretty cemented. It's just the that tension
Hmm.
that we're feeling right now talking about it when he left. It was tough for sure.
So I
But
don't disagree with you, but I'm
mhm,
going to push back a little in that I think, like you're right. I think his legacy as a player at the time, I shouldn't say legacy, but like his reputation as a player at the time was good. But I do think that that lasting impression that he left, and like I guess I don't really know where it started, but I know that in general the vibe is like that it's a soured relationship.
mhm,
I think that lingers on, and I think that matters um, when you're considering retiring a number or honoring the player from the franchise's perspective. So I wonder if that kind of ruined those chances, um, in spite of what he accomplished with the team. Like I think those intangible relationship pieces matter a little bit more than just the numbers. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at what numbers the Nuggets have retired, I mean, they've been kind of relatively loose on who makes it up there. I mean, they
Yeah.
obviously have Alex English, like Fat Lever. Obviously, Melo's got much greater legacy as a basketball player than Fat Lever. David Thompson, Byron Beck, Dan Issel, and Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know when you see those guys, those numbers up in the rafters, and then I mean the next number that's going to be up there is probably going to be Jokic. How can you not include Carmelo Anthony, a guy who averaged 22 plus points per game in every single season that he was there, including his rookie season?
I
Yeah.
think the piece, and again, we could probably talk about this for a long time and go back and forth, but the more Evan talks about kind of that impact of sorts on the city, I'm going to pose a question to you guys. When you think of like a Denver Nugget and a man of like the people, a man of Denver, for me with that era, it's almost, and again, it's probably because the Melo relationship is spoiled, but it's almost a little bit more Chauncey, right? A homegrown guy,
Hmm.
um, was a big piece of the Nuggets. Came to Denver from Detroit after winning, and I feel like Chauncey is almost a little bit more of like a Denver. Obviously, he's from here too, but as Evan was talking with the community and the city, um, it's difficult for me to see that as well. But again, we don't make that decision. We just react to it if it does or does not happen. So
Now that would be a slight on Melo, I think,
yeah,
if a guy like
Yeah,
Chauncey
I don't
were
I don't think they would
retired.
retire Chauncey's, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
yeah. For
Um,
what Chauncey's done to the community, that is a good point. I mean,
It's a good
I
argument.
think
Yeah.
or
I mean
Birdman works out at
Melo.
Lifetime.
Yeah, I mean
Saw
Melo's
him
from
there.
Melo's from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I mean, went to Syracuse. I think him going to the Knicks was everything he ever wanted in a career. And so that might be some of the reason that he doesn't really want anything to do with Denver. He just wants to be a New York legend, which I would say he is. But I mean, I also think that he is. I mean, you can't shy away from what you did in Denver.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he does, though. Because I think if he didn't care, like if he, like you said, Pat, like, yeah, I think he wanted to go back to New York at some point in his career. But when you look at the way that he left and how it's taken him this long to say something good about the Nuggets organization, I think he actually really cared. Like when he was here,
Oh, yeah.
And of course, like, in his speech, saying you guys gave me the keys to the city, basically, and to the team, and you let me grow and you let me become an NBA superstar. That isn't overlooked in his mind, I don't think. I think that's a situation where he is very aware of what he gave to the city and what that looks like in terms of his what that looks like in terms of his spoiled relationship with the organization. And I don't I think he's a great guy. I'm going to say this. If he's holding a grudge for that long, I think that's his decision to not care about the Denver Nuggets and have nothing to say about it is like that's on him. I don't necessarily know if that's on the city of Denver. Yeah, they might have been the ones to, the front office at the time might have been the ones to mess it all up, but for that to stay the way it has, and a lot of those front office people are gone now, like that doesn't there's no reason for him to still hold that grudge. But I think
maybe his son will get drafted by the Nuggets and it'll all come full circle.
But
he'll come back and be like LeBron.
I think he has. I think he really did care when he was with the Nuggets, and that's why it hurts him so much.
Yeah, I like that.
Matt's waxing poetic right now.
He thinks the Nuggets did him dirty in a sense. Yeah, I think he thinks the Nuggets did him dirty, and I mean, like you said,
yeah,
about how he thinks that they gifted Jokic his number, like it's crazy, almost as crazy as the chat right now. But I mean, one last question before we kind of close the book on the Melo talk.
Turn it off.
Do you guys want the relationship between Melo and the Nuggets to be repaired? And what do you think is it going to take for something like that to happen? I know on DNVR, Adam always says if Melo shows up to a game wearing number 15, not his 15, but repping a Nikola Jokic jersey, that'll just be the icing on the cake. Welcome back to Denver, Melo. What do you guys think? What's it going to take to repair the relationship, and do you guys want that to happen?
I think that gesture that you just said, I think that would be more than enough, to be completely honest.
Something's got to happen before that to get there, though. I think in some sort of situation, Melo has to be like, yeah, it all turned out fine. Like, I don't hold a grudge against you guys anymore. And maybe that was him saying that in his Hall of Fame speech. I don't know. Maybe it was. And I sure hope it was, because I sure hope he could show up to a Knicks Nuggets game, if that's on the schedule this year, and rep a Jokic jersey or something. But
it's gonna be Knicks Nuggets finals. And he's gonna wear a split Nuggets Knicks jersey with
Nuggets
1-5 Anthony in the back.
I think the Cronkies have to talk to him as well. I think they can set a tone with him. Just say, hey, look, I know this happened, and I know, circumstances surrounding all of that were not good. The city still loves him, man. You can't be a Nuggets fan and look at Carmelo and be like, yeah, F you. You can't do that. You can't.
But I think a lot of fans do that.
Yeah,
because of off the basketball court stuff. The way that he's salty with the organization as a whole.
Sure. Yeah.
But when you look at strictly what he's done on the court, like you said, fans loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, we all grew up loving that, and but I think I agree with you. I think what it's going to take is the Cronkies repairing that. I think that's the next step.
It could happen. I don't know if it'll happen anytime soon.
How high is that on the priority list?
Yeah, I think my prediction would be Jokic is gone, team is slumping, then they need to bring some interest into the team, and then they retire a number. And then they bring in Melo, water's under the bridge because everyone's 10 years older.
Those will be some dark days.
Yeah, Maybe that's a bad note to end on.
No, I'm just saying, post Jokic era is going to be difficult, but
We're not there.
Into that, Chris.
we are not there. We have
not there.
a lot to look
No.
forward to this season, and we're gonna
We have a good season.
keep you listeners along for the ride as we go throughout the year.
Buy the ticket now.
Ripping and gripping.
Buy the ticket, take the ride.
Exactly.
Alrighty. I think that about if anybody else does anybody else have any closing remarks?
Cam, good luck on your mission.
Yeah.
We'll be praying for you.
Congrats, Cam. Anyways, go follow us on the socials. We'll be keeping you guys updated all season long. We seriously cannot wait until it's Mile High basketball season. Whole lot to look forward to. Super pumped with you guys. Maddie, hit that outro, and keep up with us on the socials. Cheers, fellas.